searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. A man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all and still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley, and there's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing, nothing is better than you.
On June 17th, 2015, a white supremacist walked into Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. He sat with the Bible study there for nearly an hour and then stood up and opened fire, killing 9 people and fracturing an entire community. Fortunately, he was taken into custody the next morning and would soon plead guilty to all of the charges before him. But the community was still left in pain and anguish. Soon, many started to jump to attempts at healing and forgiveness and reconciliation. And leading the way were many of the people from the church and even people who were in the room that fateful night. But what does reconciliation need to look like when when such harm has been done and someone is not regretting it? What does reconciliation look like after hundreds of years of injustice done over and over again without things being made right? And does reconciliation require the people who are being harmed to do the reconciling, to fix the relationship? During this season of Lent, we are looking at the things we can add in and the things we can take out in order to make room and find balance for the holy to come in. And we're looking at Jesus' most famous teaching in Matthew 5 and 6 called the Sermon on the Mount. There's several places throughout the Sermon on the Mount in which Jesus says, "You have heard it said, but I say to you." Here Jesus is subverting conventional wisdom in many ways, and even at times going against traditional teachings straight out of the scriptures. It's as if he's taking this high bar for personal responsibility and lowering it and saying, listen, we all play a part in this. This is going to require something from all of us. So last week we read him saying that we need to take out retaliation, and this week that we need to add in reconciliation. Here's what he says. "This is how I want you to conduct yourself in these matters. If you enter your place of worship and, about to make an offering, you suddenly remember a grudge a friend has against you, abandon your offering, leave everything, go to this friend and make things right. Then, and only then, come back and work things out with God. Or, say you're on the street and an old enemy accosts you. Don't lose a minute. Make the first move. Make things right. After all, if you leave the first move to him, knowing his track record, you'll likely end up in court, maybe even jail. If that happens, you won't get out without a stiff fine. Don't call people names, pursue reconciliation, fix things, make it right. The end. Obviously, that's not the end, and we know from personal experience that reconciliation, that repairing broken relationships is so much more complicated than that. And I think that one of the problems lies in our misconception of reconciliation. We often think of it as conditional or transactional. It's something that we're supposed to do, and so we try to force it. Or we think that if we pursue these fixed relationships, if we go after reconciliation, then good things will be in store for us. Or maybe if we don't, bad things will be in store for us. But rather than being conditional or transactional, reconciliation is at its heart relational. Again, Jesus isn't giving us a step-by-step guide for exactly what to do in exactly every situation to pursue reconciliation, but instead, again, moving the bar lower and saying that reconciliation is for all of us. If you have had harm done to you, pursuing reconciliation is what liberation theologian James Cone says is a deep spiritual resistance and is refusing to surrender to hate. And if you have done the harm, whether purposefully or not, whether you participated in it directly or not, pursuing reconciliation is owning that harm that has been done and trying to do something in response. Now, pursuing reconciliation does not mean that all of our relationships are going to be repaired, that everything is going to be fixed. Reconciliation is relational. It involves more than one person, and we cannot control other people. But we can control how we respond, and we can open ourselves up to grace, a grace that goes out before, extends reconciliation with the chance that somehow, some way, someday, things might be repaired. Not everyone from Charleston, nor from the church, nor from the families of the killed were among those jumping really quick to reconciliation. Sharon Risher was a daughter of one of the people who was killed, and she refused to jump out publicly to forgive. This man had killed her mother. He had refused to say that he regretted his actions, and she was not going to jump to reconciliation and to forgiveness simply because the Bible told her to do it. And yet, in the days that followed the trial, in the moments that followed the trial, Sharon experienced something. Something changed within her, something stirred within her that is recounted in the book, Grace Will Lead Us Home. After a few steps towards the kitchen, she suddenly halted. Standing there, something dawned inside of her. It seeped through the pain and that swept into an open space that until now, tension and worry had filled. The sensation felt escorted by God. Forgiveness. Maybe it was knowing they were done with this trial. Maybe it was releasing him into the arms of justice. Maybe all that left enough space inside of her for God to work more fully. Making space for God to work more fully. A deep spiritual resistance and a refusal to be overcome by hate. That is what reconciliation looks like. And that is what grace looks like. One of the greatest pictures that we have of grace being enacted and performed and modeled for us is through communion. In God, in Jesus, we see the embodiment of God extending reconciliation to us, offering us in a broken world full of broken relationships an opportunity for healing and things being made right.
It's been a long walk. Bring me your feet, tender from the journey. Let me care for you. Sit with me. Rest. Friends, there is something I must go through. A path I must follow, a way of life I have been asked to reveal. Fear has gone viral. People are hungry and bloodthirsty. They are calling for my life, and I will deliver. But I am not leaving you alone. I give you to one another to love and cherish. There is nothing more important. This is my parting gift, a holy meal. Take a cup of my essence and a handful of bread, and let us bless the richness of God's love, the deep well of divine mercy, and the gift of being. I hope that you remember me. Remember us. Remember us. Come and take and eat and share. Share with everyone. Call them to the upper room. Give them a seat at the table. Pray with them in the garden. Pass on all that I have given to you. Give it all away. And come and take and eat. Come and take and eat. Come and take and eat.
As always, we're so happy that you joined us tonight. As a church, we seek to grow goodness, and so we hope that everything you see, everything you hear, everything you experience helps to cultivate the common good in your life and in our world. Now, as we go, I leave you with just two things in 1 minute, the two most important things to know this week. Number one, partner gathering. In 2 weeks, on March 21st at 5 p.m. during our normal alternative service time, rather than having a pre-recorded online service, we're going to have all of our partners, those who are committed to making the Planting Project their worshiping community, get together on Zoom to see each other in one digital room and be able to acknowledge that we're in this together, and then start setting the path forward for the year ahead. 2021 is a big year, and we want you to be connected to one another and realize the mission that we have before all of us. You can follow the link below to sign up and to get the Zoom link. And number two, giving. God has blessed us with so much, and giving is an opportunity to show our appreciation for all that we have received and multiply the impact of our money. You can follow the link below to give directly to the Planting Project, whether you're connected with the Grove or just wanting to support some of the amazing ministry that we have going on. Now, as we go, may you experience reconciliation in your life, experience grace in your life, in ways that makes openings for God to fully move.